Welcome to Shop Talk, where you get my honest opinion on current events, life, and sports. Let's get into it. This past weekend was, I think, the 30th anniversary of Reasonable Doubt. Jay had the three concerts. Um, I guess Jay being Jay, you know. Um, this a guy that was kneeling for police brutality for, how they've been always treating black people in this country. You double down on it, saying that you sold out and everything, which you had, which you have in so many ways. And we're not talking about the stadium. You guys preach a certain status that you all have at the expense of the white guys who you try to make it seem like you're against. And so, I see you keep doing freestyles. The next freestyle I want to hear from you is about them Epstein files. I know you could do it. I was a huge fan of yours, Jay. I took the blindfold off and started realizing who you are as a person. I know you're a capitalist. We're living in a capitalistic society, and you all about your bread, like we all are. We all need to have it to sustain our lives, but to undermine somebody's movement because you were trying to get, I guess, a seat at the table with the same people you've always been cool with, the Leo Corns, the Culture Vultures, all those type of people, the Goodells, you want to be in their company because I'm guessing you need their validation. I'm not understanding that because you kind of made a career of saying, you don't, I jumped off the post, I lost 92 bricks and stuff like this. And so I guess over time you just showed your hand. I know sometimes you could be dealt a bad hand in cards, but you could still win, Jay. But you took the other route of cutthroat Colin Kaepernick. His career was taken from him because he didn't agree with what was going on in this country. And so all the pundits went against him at that time. I think the only one was really kind of in his corner at that time was like Max Kellerman. Max Kellerman is a white man. Even Ray Lewis, all of them. It was like, what is he doing? I remember Kenny Stills and the safety for the Saints right now, Justin Reed, his brother Eric Reed, they started kneeling together. They all lost their careers because people have always spoken out against injustices. So a Green Beret, Nate Boyd, I think was playing for the Patriots at the time. He said, you can have your protest silent, but you actually can kneel. This is a Green Beret. That's one of the top people in the military. He told him, man, I respect what you're doing. That's what we joined the military for. When you join the military, you fighting for the freedom of everyone over here. I don't care about their sex, their race, their orientation. That's what their opinion is for. That's the American right. And so I don't know, man. I don't know. I even saw Ye even liked the concert, and that's what I saw a lot of discourse online where they were saying, man, why he ain't bring Ye out? We think about the stuff that Ye said. I noticed years ago, I'm like, Ye having episodes. And so when you're dealing with somebody that's having episodes, they're liable to say anything. If you paid attention to Gucci Mane interview with his wife, he say some of the worst things. When they're having an episode, whatever comes to your mind, you're going to say it. My wife worked with them kind of people as well. Them people attack you. They combative at any moment. They could be combative. And so when you saw Ye making certain statements, I say, okay, something going on. But they had people that made fun of it. Like, oh, you see, he went down on his cousin. I'm like, when have you ever said something like that? When have we ever heard that Ye was rocking like that? So, but it's always funny until that person passed away. Now everybody sending their condolences like, oh man, I ain't know it was that severe and all this stuff here. Same thing with Chadwick Boseman, God rest his soul. People saw him getting small. You thought he was getting ready for like a movie role. Whole time he had cancer. You know how horrible society have to be for someone to literally not tell you what's going on with them? They got a sickness that's eating away at their body. That lets you know what kind of society we living in. Like everybody out to get, everybody won't laugh, everybody just won't. I just won't get me. Long as you getting you and the next person ain't getting them, it don't matter to you. And that's why we in a predicament we in not, because nothing is taken serious. Nothing. You know, look at how the Boston Celtics done Jaylen Brown. You know, one thing they don't like is an educated black man. They don't like it. It bothers their soul because they're evil. So I know in this next CBA, whenever it comes up, guys will want to invest in the basketball team they play for. They want equity. I said last week on my Twitter platform, I say, you know, our sweat is equity. So I can go out here, make millions of dollars and everything of that sort. But when it comes to ownership, why I can't? No, there's no clear-cut answer for that. Why can't the players be owners as well? I mean, you done stole everything from us anyway. When you think about it, you don't think a player should have ownership, but you let Tom Brady have ownership in the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? And even the black people that is in some type of ownership in the NFL, they fall on few. Probably can name them on one hand. Might be 2-3 fingers. Y'all let Tom Brady have ownership in the Raiders and an analyst job at the same time. Well, I mean, you said it was a rule that you wouldn't be able to do that. So it's like you keep putting obstacles in our way, and we steady hurdling them. Every obstacle y'all put in the way, we steady hurdling them. You're letting certain diseases run rapid. It's like y'all trying to kill people. It's basically, they're trying to do population control. You letting disease run rapid. Plagues and stuff that y'all know come from like not really being up on your hygiene. But you don't care because you're trying to kill people on purpose. But you know that sun is fake because you know it's going to get you out of here. So we have to keep our head in the game. You know what I'm saying? With certain things. Look at what his little governor's doing. They want to be in control so they get his agenda across. You know, you had the guy the weekend he passed. You know, y'all playing with certain countries that have been known for killing people. And they going to make it look like it was natural causes. But if you've always paid attention to this certain country, he's known for killing people. So I don't really be shocked by what's going on. My thing is, you got guys like Hakeem Jeffries. You at the concert Sunday or Saturday, enjoying yourself. Americans struggling. You getting paid by APAC. They asked you yesterday about voting for the bill to, stop arming Israel with ammunition. And just like people realizing now that you work for Israel, which is a cancer all over the world, they have to be eliminated, which was created by the CIA because they needed to infiltrate things. That's how you do your money laundering, human trafficking, all those type of things, because y'all can't live in peace. You have to have chaos wherever y'all go. It's truly impossible for y'all to live in peace. Look at what Jeff Landry doing in Louisiana. Don't have a reason to what y'all doing. You just can't live in peace because you're devils. Even other white people getting tired of y'all. It's from one thing to another. We can't get nowhere until y'all actually open y'all eyes all the way. Only way you should be having your eyes closed when you going to sleep. Right now is the time for us to keep your eyes open and pay attention to everything, your surroundings and all. We all doing something we ain't got no business doing. We gonna fall short regardless. It's nobody perfect walking this earth. So I would rather know what's going on than something have like a sneak attack or something, and we all be in the dark or something like they're gonna try to do. You know, America not safe. It's really not. You know, we all got our lives to live and stuff like that, but we don't know. You could be going to somewhere and something could pop off. It's really not safe when you think about it. So I just make sure every week I come and I ain't fear mongering to let people know what's really going on in the world. I saw a lot of discourse with the interview with 49 and Jude. Even if you don't make it, like I say, we all love rap, we all love R&B, we all love certain things, but we know before you get on, man, you got to make a living. That's for sure. You got to make a living, man. So even if he would have to have so much funding and resource to even open up certain things, even a trade school. So Jude was kind of just getting him some real spill on something, you know. And so people got to realize, man, I went to trade school in 2008 at the shipyard. We made an honest living. We was actually middle class at the time, but you're talking 2008. And so that's something that you could take with you the rest of your life. That's a trade that you have. So when you learn a trade like barbering, being an electrician, a plumber, stuff like that, you can open your own business. You can run your own business and stuff like that. So the obsession with entertainment, I think that's the bigger issue. Like we think, okay, I'm from a certain part of the set or whatever, and that's what we do. We just do rap and stuff like that. No, we can be more than entertainers. It takes money to really take off anyway with anything. I remember when Dolph was living, you know, he said it take about $250,000 to push a record. That's talking about DJs. That's like shopping it, $250,000. What y'all think y'all about to get in the rap game with like $300-400? You know, our ceiling is too low a lot of times. So we got to think about where you're trying to go at. You know, most rappers, they'll tell you, man, I had a job. I saw Currency yesterday talking about, it was an old clip, I'm going to see, of him saying he was at Six Flags, I think, or something, and he was working, and like he said, he was getting you the rundown on, like, you know, how people would tell you, you know, yeah, man, you put your dreams to the side and just come work for me. You could do my dream. And so, like you said, the day you give up could be the day of your breakthrough. So you gotta realize, man, you gotta make ends meet until you're able to go into your dream or whatever. You know, when you got bills, man, and if you got a lady and you got kids, stuff like that, that's gonna cause problems in the relationship anyway. You know, don't just depend on your lady to do everything. You know, as a man, you want to be able to, you know, hold your own weight as well. So I think it's all good discourse. I don't really look at nothing too much as far as nitpicking nowadays, because like I say, man, we in some crazy times we living in, and people just kind of thinking what's best for them at the time. That's why I say every week about having compassion amongst each other. Realize we all don't have it all figured out. And so that's where I'm at with it. I don't see nothing wrong with the discourse. It was positive. Guys had their little stuff, you know. Of course, I would expect that from an older, mature guy. You know, we're not gonna be young. We're not going backwards. We're always gonna go forward in life. And so if you could help someone along the way where they would say, you know, oh, gee, what you think I should do? Ooh, ooh, ooh. And you give them a rundown, that's mature of you. You know what I'm saying? I won't tell you try to do something I did. It worked for me. That don't mean it's gonna work for you. At the end of every commercial, when they showing your product, that little fine print always say results may vary. You can do everything a person told you to do, and it still don't work out for you. That's what you would have to pick yourself up and like, okay, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe it's just not right now. That don't mean it ain't gonna work for you. It might not happen just right now. Cause real faith is when you don't have nothing going. That's what real faith is. When you gotta really dig deep and say, all right, I gotta go for what I know. I don't know where my next dollar coming from. I don't know what nothing is. But a lot of us work better with our backs against the wall. How you gonna respond to adversity? That's the main thing. How you gonna respond to adversity? Because it's gonna get rough. So that's how you gotta take this life thing really day by day. You gotta take it day by day. Cause you could be doing good one minute and lose everything the next. But humanity has to move forward. That's the main thing, you know. But there's so much stuff that has to happen. You know, you got to get people, real leaders. You got to have real leaders that want to see change, like a Mandami, like a Mayor Mandami. You have to have them kind of leaders. And so now that people seeing how good he's working for the New York, people like, yo, that's what I want. That's what I want. Because we know this is a Ponzi scheme they're running on American citizens. They get all kind of lines of credit from other countries, but we don't get no money. Oh, we always work. I got this job. I got that job. Oh, work for me. Do this. We all know it's going to come forward. All the wages. There. So matter of fact, I just saw a report yesterday how they still $50 billion in wages a year from American workers. I think it's more than that. You think of all the people in the workforce, I think it's more than that. So if they're running a Ponzi scheme on us, the goal is for us to never open our eyes. Not realize we shouldn't be paying for insurance. Y'all sending Israel $300 billion a year. They got free universal health care. They go to college for free off our tax dollars. They don't mind taking your tax. You be looking forward to getting your taxes. They take your tax, talking about, oh, this year we found something, we audited you. You auditing the citizens, but the Pentagon has failed 8 straight audits. You know, the government has never really been our friend, and we seeing it with our own 2 eyes now. They're in chaos, not us. They ain't chaos. I always say this, what a timeline to be alive. Because people going to be able to get to where they need to be at in life. You're going to see livable wage. You're going to see affordable housing. You're going to see all that. Depending on where you're at in life. If you're doing well right now, don't mean you're going to be doing well later on. That had a workforce you can go into. People got to realize there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. I know in the pandemic it kind of got out of control. People didn't want to go back to work and stuff like that. But then you got to get the minimum wage up. Can't do 15 no more. The longer this war goes on, you be looking at that $40 an hour. Walking in the door. Then you got to think about stimulus. You got to boost the economy. You're going to have to get rid of credit. A lot of us had decent scores. But if you don't have the money to pay your bills, eventually your score will go down. And you got to deal with credit bureaus and stuff like that. So it was always a conscious effort to keep people at a certain threshold in life. So, like I say every week, let's have compassion amongst each other. Let's think about one another, how we can help one another. They got all walks of life that get along real well. They show the discourse on TV all the time. And it's like the same thing over and over. They want to cipher energy. So you ask yourself what you want to do going forward. That's how I would look at it. You moving with a genuine heart and soul. Where you don't have a hidden agenda. So, like I said, like, follow, and subscribe on YouTube at Shop Talk 84. On Instagram, that's contact_CEO. That's KONTACK_CEO. On X, it's contact CEO. KONTACK CEO. Until next time,